Let's take a look at the vetoes, though, as we do get closer and closer into this matchup happening. And I feel like this is one of those where if you get your vetoes wrong, you're going to be in a bad spot. So, Blue, how are these vetoes looking?
Oh, so going to Corrupted Keep first. For Griffin, this actually doesn't surprise me because Disco Ryan, as I remember him, was a very aggressive player and he was a very in-your-face player. And the fact that Griffin was actually able to beat Disco Ryan multiple times throughout the course of the qualifiers does speak to that fact that he's going to be very prominent on a map like Corrupted Keep. And once I go to Vedmedik, I don't know as much about him, but again, going over to Blood Run, that's just like a standard classic Quake map there, so everyone should be pretty familiar on that territory.
So when we look at Vedmedik, his path to here, he had actually had to beat Tom Servo to qualify for this event. Now we know Tom Servo has moved on. He's going to be going, that sounds terrible, but he's going to be going to QuakeCon. He has qualified earlier today. And now it'll be his chance. It's going to be Griffin and Vedmedik's chance to qualify for QuakeCon.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think with the play styles that we've seen, or that I've been able to see in the qualifiers amongst these two players, I think it's going to be a very in-your-face and a very aggressive match.
Well, I'm going to throw it over. Excuse me, I'm not going to throw it. I'm going to toss it lightly to the commentators who are standing by and ready to bring you the action here at the North American Regionals.
That's okay, we can catch it all right. All right, but it looks like we're going right into Griffin and Vedmedik, and like they said, Corrupted keeping the first map. This is going to be pretty intense. I like this as a first matchup here. It kind of clears the air.
Wasted no time getting your frag though, didn't they? It was 8 seconds, 1-0 Griffin. You know, one of the things that kind of want to touch on, you know, you brought up the path for Vedmedik, who took out he beat Tom Servo, excuse me, to qualify, who was already qualified. But something to note about Griffin, he took out ID from Team Liquid to get here. So no slouch, and I'm very curious to see who pulls this one out.
Absolutely. I mean, he's been in and around Quake for a very long time. Now he's playing with Top Gun, so I guess you could say he's a bit of a maverick. But we're going to have to see how that goes into these next few frags. We've already got 2 under our belts here already, and I'm sure they're not going to be letting up the carnage here pretty soon. But we've got 50 health only for Griffin. Not a good place for a Nyx to be by any shot. But we've got 7 seconds to Mega. It's going to be Vedmedik in position for it. Griffin might just need to let this one chill.
One of the key aspects of Quake, as you know, is knowing which engagements to take and which ones not to take. And obviously right there, that was not a situation where Griffin should have dropped down, and Vedmedik made him pay.
Well, if you can look on the bright side, at least he's got Scale Bear now, and he can afford to do a few of those plays. But he's got a rocket launcher at this point, which is very handy. Vedmedik looking to do a little bit of damage as Griffin attempts to cross to either Mega Side or Armor, and all the time that this is wasting on Griffin right now is perfect for him because, as you can see, it turns into a frag, it turns into a round.
Got caught in the open a little bit, Scale Bear, Lightning Gun. Can't say it enough. As a tank, you do not want to be on the open and straight Lightning Gun fight unless you have a significant stack advantage. Even then, you have to be a little careful. As you know, somebody with Quake experience, when somebody sticks a lightning gun on you and they're hitting every single cell, not only it's going to move you, it's going to throw your aim off, so it becomes harder to return the damage, and that's one of the things you got to be careful about.
Absolutely, but maybe both of these guys could be a little bit more careful. I mean, that was an incredibly fast first round. We're going to have to see if they start backing away from these fights a little bit more often as the match continues. We've got Griffin up top, taking both of the 25s to recover. We've got a little bit of armor for Vedmedik, actually, which is going to be handy, but you don't you lose that armor pretty quickly if you end up getting trapped by that rocket. Really beautiful shot. Fortunately for Vedmedik, he can med himself back up on that Mega health as it's traded off with heavy armor from Griffin's side. And I like this. He's going a little bit quiet here. He's going back into the armor, actually, before going back to the teleporter. It's a great teleporter as long as your opponent doesn't know you're coming through it. So that's going to give Griffin the top of the map and the potential for some good spam.
Yeah, you'll see, just like right here, I was about to say, you'll see a lot of people, you said that teleport is dangerous if your opponent's waiting for you. They'll have rockets waiting for you or a nail gun swing. I've seen opponents, some of these top players, just line up some nails there and just devastate somebody.
And it looks like Vedmedik's ability to predict where Griffin is going has been devastated a bit. I mean, he's just been kind of on the run here since then. Griffin doing a ton of damage now. I mean, now Vedmedik is going to know exactly what's up. There's the Dire Orb, does not commit to it, goes for recovery instead. Could have used maybe a health pickup there as well, but he's going to go for it now. 8 seconds before Mega, and Griffin still, I think, has Vedmedik wondering where he's at. Well, that'll answer that question as the spam comes out. It's going to be trading off, and we're down to a much more classic situation here on the Mega. It's a fight that Vedmedik can push a few spam rockets into, but worst case, he can just go back and get armor.
Yeah, both, nobody really has an advantage with stack right now. This going to come down to an ambush. Oh, the jump
ambush
pad.
or a jump pad. Make that maybe 2 jump pads. Nope. Vedmedik is going to be avoiding it at that point, but it's still going to turn into a frag for Griffin.
Yeah, no, I mean, at that point, the damage was initially done. He was in desperation mode. You know, Griffin just finished him off there. There was nowhere he could run.
What does it take to take a 100 damage rocket and still try to get the pickup for Mega and actually get it? I mean, Griffin. Oh, did you see that totem?
I actually did at the last second.
I didn't.
Yeah,
that would have gotten me.
That was, you know what? That was slick. He hit it. I mean, he hit it inside the rocket
Plain
launcher there.
sight, yeah.
And because the rocket launcher, I think, has that red coloring, and yeah, just very interesting.
Devious for sure. So Vedmedik making good
dirty.
use of Galena here so far, and this is exactly what I signed up for this weekend.
So dirty, man. That's.
All right, so Ved walking away with not a lot of armor. He's going to be bolstering that back up. Well, maybe that's going to be a steal from Griffin. That Nyx is flying out of nowhere and taking him down. So bye-bye Galena, at least for this round. It's going to be forced back over to Visor, which is very handy against Nyx.
Yeah, but he popped that sight now. Ghostwalk is up, so yeah. So now he has a problem.
This could be a really big problem as he actually tries to defensively go back to LG, which is just inviting Griffin to steal the Mega, to steal the frag, but he's able to kind of body block Griffin there and turn it into a 2-0.
I think Griffin lost timing on the Mega Health a little bit there, because, you know, he backed off.
It was a little awkward.
Yeah, it was a little awkward, and then he came back for it at the last second. I think he probably wants that engagement back, you know, if you were to really think about it. Yeah.
It's definitely one to examine.
Yeah, and then because the visor was there too, so then he rushed back into the Mega Health area and just took damage where he could probably, you know, just go get your heavy armor at that point. You know, you made a mistake, it's okay. Just go and, you know, don't
worry about it.
Yeah, don't make it worse.
Don't throw around on it for sure, but he's down to the last chance here on Corrupted Keep at the very least against Vedmedik, as he's just been doing so much work. I mean, the work on the LG is great as well, but the rockets coming out of Vedmedik are keeping things incredibly close.
Yeah. Griffin's lightning gun really is spot on. But
yeah.
You're right about that. Vedmedik, good placed rockets. That's one thing that can help neutralize somebody with a strong LG, because it makes it very difficult.
Yeah, Griffin totally meant to fall down there, and so it's all good. But Griffin's coming back up top to Rocket Launcher, just looking for a few audio cues from Vedmedik. Armor's going to be taken away, and at that point, Griffin wouldn't have exact timing on it, so that's a potential for Vedmedik to set up an ambush later on. But at this point, I'm sure Griffin is also keeping out a little bit of a closer eye for these totems.
It really does seem like Vedmedik's getting better in these rocket exchanges.
Ooh. And that's a lot of LG. You really cannot afford to chase up that corridor, but that's exactly what Vedmedik did. He lost out the fight, but they come right back into it, smashing themselves together on the Mega Health. But it's going to be Griffin getting the better end of that deal. Nice.
He needed to get out of there.
Yeah, so not the cleanest escape, but he finally did make it out of there. He's able to come back mid-map with only 40 health. It's a good thing there's no rail on this map for Griffin at this point. But coming back in and trying to get that last rocket in doesn't quite go his way. It wouldn't have worked anyway. Vedmedik is actually pretty well stacked up here, so Mega's going to be coming back up. We actually see Griffin hovering around the rocket launcher. Vedmedik should have been able to hear that as well as taking away this heavy armor. Yeah,
Vedmedik looking really strong so far. You know, Griffin, again, the lightning gun aim is really spot on for Griffin, but you know, the rocket launcher aim seems to be more for Vedmedik here.
Yeah.
And a map like this, I think I'd rather the rocket launcher be on point than the lightning gun. And not to mention, Vedmedik's lightning gun is no slouch either. So you combine that, the lightning gun's relatively equal, but one guy's getting the better with the rocket launcher, and you can see the lead he's generating right now.
Absolutely, and of course Vedmedik kind of keeping the high ground for the moment before diving down for this heavy armor. He's going to be expecting a little bit of rocket play out of Griffin. Really well placed there. But here comes a bit more pressure from these totems, knowing that Griffin's going to be stuck down to that corridor. Vedmedik is just going to be kind of browsing the map going, all right, if you're going to be down there, what else can it be taking away?
I really like the totem play with Galena here.
Oh,
the way he's kind of throwing around. The rocket launcher one was slick for sure.
Here comes that skill bearer tank engine, but it's going to be the Mega left on up, left waiting for Vedmedik as it does Griffin. No good.
Again, it just, you know, Griffin, he wasn't bad spot there. And in the end, it's just Vedmedik, he really seems to be getting the better of him in these rocket exchanges, and it's throwing Griffin off.
Absolutely. And yeah, that was a bit of an awkward position Griffin got placed in there. He put himself in the corner, but then you put a totem in the corner. Cool, if you want to stay there, you're going to get totemed on your way out.
Yeah, again, very interesting Galena play. I was actually impressed with the way he was throwing the totems around, especially the rocket launcher one. I don't think we've seen that in all the qualifier matches. I don't remember seeing somebody place it right
seems so
in that
obvious
spot.
now.
It does seem so obvious, right? But it's kind of amazing. I really don't think I've seen somebody do that. And it was pretty hidden. It like fit a little bit inside the model in his colored red. That's why I said dirty.
Well,
So
you would
dirty.
hope that a trick like that only works once, and I'm sure Griffin is filing it away there. But we're going to be going into the next map, and I think, you know, as much as I enjoyed that Galena play, that map is something where you see a lot of it, and the rest not so much. A bit on Blood Run, but if we're going over to Covenant or even Sarnath, we might not see so much of it. So I'm glad we got to see what we saw.
Yeah, it's a new wrinkle. I think I might try to bust that out on somebody one of these days.
All right. Call it a Vedmedik. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I'll call it the Vedmedik, like we call the the Dewey telefrag. You know what the?
Oh, we've got a lot of things we name after Dewey.
Yeah. None of them good. No.
All right, but it is indeed going to be a blood run here as we go into the next map between Griffin and Vedmedik. What are you thinking?
You know, Vedmedik looked really strong. Going into the match, the first map, I was a little like, I don't know. I don't know who's really going to pull this out. But after watching it, I feel like, I've always been a rocket launcher guy. And I feel like when somebody has strong rockets and they're winning those battles, it's going to carry the day in the end. Hit scan is hit scan. I think all these guys who are playing have great hit scan. But in the end, something about rockets speaks something to the way you're predicting your opponent's movements and stuff. So I'm going to go with Vedmedik.
That's not a bad guess, but of course we do have the railgun getting back into play here, so that's obviously going to change things a little bit. We're going to have to see who it favors more here. But I do love the fact that win or lose, Griffin is looking awesome today.
I like the hoodie.
All right, but as we get this next map loaded up, I think we're going to take a quick breather as Griffin gets ready to come back into round 2.
So in Quake Champions, we spent a lot of time thinking about where we place weapons, where we place armor, health, and power-ups. Back in the old days, we kind of just threw them in the map. And sometimes we had bad weapon placement. There are some levels where we actually forgot to put a weapon in, and now today people are like, oh, that was so interesting, that was such a design choice. But really it was kind of a mistake. We've gotten much better, much more sophisticated in how we place weapons in Quake Champions.
Something's happening I can't control. I feel the time slow die. Somehow I feel.
All right, and of course, we are excited to get into the second map between Vedmedik and Griffin. That first one was explosive.
Yeah, very impressed. Vedmedik. I mean, Griffin's no joke. Let's be real here. The guy took out ID on his path here. He also beat Disco Ryan, who's also we've seen has made it to the regional finals. And we've seen a lot of good play from him. Both those guys, ID, Disco Ryan. So to see Vedmedik.
Vedmedik, yeah. Vedmedik is fun.
Yeah, it's a little tongue twister there. To see him take him out of his element as much as he did, and I mean, it really wasn't close. Let's be real here. That map was really dominated by Vedmedik there, and going into Blood Run, obviously Griffin needs to make some adjustments. As you mentioned, there's a railgun now on this map. Maybe that helped get some things going for him, but from what I saw, it seemed like Vedmedik was winning those rocket encounters, and in Quake, if you're winning your rocket battles, I mean, that's huge. It really helps set up the other hit scams, that type of stuff.
Absolutely, but of course we are going into Blood Run, which is a map that's actually, as it turns out, everybody kind of has a love-hate relationship with, where a lot of players do. You know, there are some players who just absolutely love Blood Run. There's some players who will actually throw a bit of a fit if they got to play it.
Yeah, I have a, I don't know, mixed history with Blood Run and whether it's a love-hate relationship. It really is, because it's a great map, but depending on your own play style and the person you're playing, maybe it might benefit somebody more than you. But that's one of the things that go into maps and map design.
Exactly.
So that's where the adjustments come in. You can't just lock yourself into one play style. You got to be a little versatile in this game.
Well, we're going to see who's more flexible here. By the look of it, we're looking at actually Galena coming back from Vedmedik. I love seeing that play in Corrupted Keep, and now we're going to see more of it. It's actually another Galena over on Griffin's side. So, cool. It's a rare treat. And there's Griffin looking happy, getting some encouragement from the rest of his Top Gun dudes. We're going to have to see if he can pull out this map or if Vedmedik is going to get his goose.
Yeah, well, it looks like to steal your joke there, Griffin needs to be a little bit of Iceman here. Ice cold, no mistakes.
Ice in the veins for sure, but we're going to have to see. I like that Dire Orb not to the Mega, but directly to the rocket launcher, making sure that A, I've got a rocket launcher first, and B, you're not getting a rocket launcher. So Griffin buying himself a little bit of time there, but again, really obvious about it, but setting this trap as well with the LG. Oh, it's so beautifully placed. I mean, so beautifully planned, but the damage just was not all that convincing, but it was a nice thought from Griffin.
Yeah, good setup. I'm sure he wished he already had a railgun at that point. Would have probably taken that shot. But yeah, it was a good ambush. He just didn't get the lightning damage.
Crazy LG, but responded by equally crazy rockets out of Griffin here. So Vedmedik's going to have a little bit of a health edge, but they're relatively even at this point, as once again, no items are up and they're going a little bit silent, looking for that ambush, and this rocket bounce is going to turn into, whoa, pulling out that Dire War from the grave, it looked like. And now we do indeed have double Galena, but that is 2 frags on the board at the same time.
So what happens if they throw their totems into each other? Does the whole world just explode, or?
We might find out. I don't know. All right, so we got Vedmedik with a little bit of an edge in terms of armor as items are being traded at this point, as he's looking over the top. Yeah, Griffin should have actually heard the ammo pickup there, but that is a ton of LG coming out of Vedmedik, taking the fight directly down to Griffin. Even if he manages to escape up the jump pad, Vedmedik will have a relatively safe way back up to the teleporter, actually, also using that totem to make sure that he's got plenty of health.
Yeah, barely got away. Nice rockets from Griffin there.
So looking for a little bit of spam on the Mega, getting a little bit off of it, actually knocking about half of that bonus off. That's certainly going to be helping Vedmedik out as they make this next fight happen. But again, no items are up. It's all about trippy-trappy time. Whoa, barely avoiding that totem there. Oh no, that's actually Vedmedik's totem. All right. Well, Griffin has revealed his presence a little bit here up in the upper armor room. So Vedmedik is going to be looking for an exit, even though it's not going to be an obvious one. He's actually coming over the top. This should give Vedmedik a pretty good play on the Mega. And he has Railgun. He's going to be looking for that long range shot. Switches a little bit late, but oh, there's one totem to do some damage. Yeah, this is going to be nasty as Griffin is walking out of there with just about 25 health. He's actually going to be staying in the blood pool. I'm not sure if Vedmedik realized that he never left, never went through the teleporter, and that is actually going to be a saving grace for Griffin.
Yeah, nice patience by Griffin. Oh, and a little return totem action of his own.
You cannot go through these teleporters for free when it's double Galenas for sure. But that is going to be one Galena down as Griffin is put back on his final champion this round, a Nyx.
Yeah, Vedmedik just too stacked. Even with the totem damage, he was able to fight through that and put damage out of his own.
Oh, I love this play on the Ghost Walk, but equally matched with the totem there. It's going to be a little bit of a potential push forward with the LG. He doesn't want a rocket jump at this point. Griffin can escape at will, but Vedmedik has the potential to do a little bit more damage. Now he's just going to leave it and make sure he's all stacked up.
Yeah, he was in a... Even though Griffin was trapped, you know, he didn't have much of a stack either. So I think he was just looking to delay so he can make sure he can secure some other items.
All right, but the jump up to the armor is denied, and really good rocket from Griffin here. That should buy him a little bit more room, even if it buys Vedmedik that Mega. So Griffin dropping down. We actually hear Vedmedik popping up top. Gonna hear that armor pickup as well. So Griffin, he's actually gonna be a little bit weak here, of course, being mostly a natural Nyx. He doesn't have a lot of stack to play with, so coming up these stairs, this trap could go really poorly, but there's the Ghost Walk pushing it forward, but he's just gonna have to sit on those 225s and heal back up.
Yeah, good ambush by Vedmedik, forced the defensive Ghost Walk. You know, now he knows if he gets, you know, this next heavy armor or something, he's in a position to really push the Nyx right now.
Absolutely, and there's the jump for the armor itself, really clean. Griffin just could not show up for it. I mean, he's still got 15 seconds before he's got a Ghost Walk available, and usually at this point, this is where you see Nyx play start to fall apart, but really good defensive damage with the rockets there, just forcing Vedmedik out of that arena.
Yeah, great rockets, really bailed himself out of a situation there. Probably would have ended up seeing him get fragged if he didn't. Yeah, I mean, he knocked him up in the air. I mean, it's 2 direct rockets, just really ruined Vedmedik's chance of getting a frag there.
It's got to be frustrating for Vedmedik, as that should have been a fight that went over to him, but Griffin's rockets is pulling out the savior, but you cannot sit on that armor and not get punished for it. A little bit of revenge from the grave there, almost taking out Griffin, but that'll be now Visor from Vedmedik. 1v1, 20 seconds left to go. We might actually see a little bit of overtime come into this, but looks like Vedmedik doesn't even want to let that happen.
I was a little surprised Vedmedik is just sitting there up there, especially after the first rocket, second rocket. I mean, he waited. How many rockets do you want to get hit by? He decided to jump off that thing. He really wanted to get the armor.
Vedmedik thought that, actually Griffin thought that he could get away with that Nyx having about 4 seconds left before the Ghost Walk came back up, and you don't have that escape rope, you don't have that safety net, you don't have a chance at a frag.
We've seen it many times with Nyx, you know, and that's kind of the strategy I think players are going in. You want to force that Ghost Walk in a defensive manner, and then you push, and she doesn't have it up, and all of a sudden Nyx, you know, isn't quite as strong, right? The big thing about Nyx is getting that jump, you know, and getting that aggressive Ghost Walk on people. When you force that defensive Ghost Walk, it's really putting her on her heels, and you're not letting them get the best out of the champion.
That's the real Nyx play, you know, what do you do when you don't have that Ghost Walk available?
Yep.
But we might see another very quick frag here between these two Rangers, and just like the last time, it could even be a mutual frag. Now Griffin's creating a little bit more space here. He's looking for the rail, and he's going to get it. One of the first really clean rails we've seen here so far in our matchup here on Blood Run. And I'm sure Griffin's very happy just to get a frag without having to pay such a dear price for it. And a beautiful just chain of damage coming out of Griffin, definitely putting Vedmedik on his back leg. And he's actually crossing over to Rocket Launcher coming up the stairs, so Griffin will need to see if he commits to it or actually drops down.
Nice, again, good placement from Vedmedik. You know, Griffin had a good initial rocket, knocked him off the stairs there, and he had some chance for some rails, just couldn't quite connect, and then Vedmedik made him pay when he missed. Vedmedik did not.
Oh, nice timing on that rocket. Almost really good timing on the Dire Orb as well, and it allows him to teleport forward directly onto the Mega Pad. Doesn't get the Mega, of course, but he does. Oh, here we go. I was thinking, how often are you going to be able to go through that teleporter without paying for it? Jeez.
Ah, man, I gotta like Vedmedik's Galena play, man.
Yeah.
He's sneaky. He is so dirty with these things, man. Really dirty, in a good way. In a good way. You know, Quake, we like a little dirtiness. So
Absolutely. So now it's going to be down to Nyx with Griffin here. Vedmedik enjoying his ability to tie the frags back up at the least. Puts his totem right back where it was. Maybe he'll get lightning to strike twice, but we see Griffin actually diving down towards rocket launcher. Not sure if he had one already, but he certainly does now. Heavy armor is going to be up. We might see a little bit of spam coming out of Griffin, or he's just not going to show up at all. 11 seconds before Mega comes back up, and if Griffin doesn't do a rail or some decent rocket spam here, it could be real trouble for him.
Yeah, he's got good separation on both the major items right now. He's stacked. Griffin, I guess he missed that one. He had the major timing on this. A little miscue there by Vedmedik. There's no excuse for him to be late.
Yeah, I mean, Vedmedik was actually looking like he wanted to just go for spam instead of the pickup, but granted, giving Nyx a mega health is not the worst thing in the world, but still, it's a bit of an edge that Griffin can use at this point, and use very effectively. Really good initial rocket. There's the rail as well, and even that totem will not give Vedmedik enough health to survive another rail.
Death is the
Just
only
barely made it through that teleport there. Nice
kidding.
turnaround from Griffin. The dangers of giving an opponent an item like that, you see, he wanted to spam, he kind of wanted to, now he got that mega health, he got a little confidence to push for the heavy armor. He took the heavy armor, and now we are where we are.
And where we are is both players being actually kind of even here. I mean, Griffin, again, he has to do a lot of work not to get railed, but man, there's the pop. And a really good response on the rocket placement from Griffin there, giving him that one more frag. One more is all he needs to secure this round.
Yeah, really caught Vedmedik with his heels to the floor there. I mean, he just hit him with that first direct rocket, and he had nowhere to go after that.
Beautifully done. But so a lot of damage that Visor's taken already. Griffin has got it back out of this fight now. This could turn the tables. This could be exactly the opposite situation, as with 36 health left over, Vedmedik got railed down to like, what, 2 health? Just a sliver. Couldn't even see a pixel on the health bar.
We were wondering how much the the addition of the railgun, maybe Griffin, it seems like he is landing some of these clutch rails to help him out in this match.
Oh, so
like
risky.
that.
20 health dropped down to 10, and he jumps for the armor anyway. Absolutely insane, but it paid off. That'll tie it back up 1-1.
Yeah, well, when you jump for the armor and you hit the guy below you with the rail at the same time, it certainly helps your chances of grabbing it. So great, I mean, just great shooting from Griffin there a couple times. It seemed like his rail was getting a little hot.
Yeah, and just as we come into it, he immediately gets one off on Vedmedik as he crosses over Mega. But now he's being severely punished up here at the armor. He's going to have to get out of there before he gets die-orbed into, and Vedmedik is just pushing it forward into that first frag.
Yeah, maybe fell in love with how hot he was getting with the railgun. Probably, stuck around on the heavy armor ledge a little too long. We see players do that, but you really don't want to be on the ledge. It's more of a grab the armor and run away as quickly as possible thing. You're highly exposed.
Absolutely. So that is a totem completely nullified, by the way, by Vedmedik. He's going to have some security in knowing that there won't be a totem to worry about for a few more seconds. So he's going to use this time to get armor, take the top of the map, and actually maybe find this Galena. Oh, he knew she was there and was able to take him down very, very quickly. Griffith had no chance.
Yeah, that's just good read, prediction. I know exactly where you are. There was no hesitation. Right around the corner, rockets pre-firing and everything. So, yeah, not much Griffin could do there.
This is going to force Griffin's Nyx into Ghostwalk territory, and even now there might not be a really clean escape. 17 health, but there's the nail gun to save the day, to give him the frag as well as the mega health. Now that'll be Griffin down to that Nyx. Ooh. Nice.
Yeah.
Not much more to say about that one. But that'll once again be Nyx versus Visor here. Something that on paper favors Vedmedik a little bit, since he can pop that piercing sight and know exactly what Griffin's up to. But what he does with that information is the other half of the battle.
And it's interesting because he's going against a Nyx, so there's two plays. One, do I want to get that information, like you said, of where he is, or do I want to specifically save it for Ghostwalk, in which case means you're not going to use it maybe as often as you'd like to. So it's interesting to see how that.
And then, of course, when you're Nyx, that means you don't want to use Ghostwalk until you know that he doesn't have piercing sight.
Yes.
And the cycle continues as the quad continues to turn. All right, but here's Griffin, top of the map, just about 2 minutes off of this, but we've got 4 frags under our belts already. Griffin is looking for one more to turn this into a potential match point. Nice rockets. He can afford a little bit more here. He's also got Ghostwalk ready. And Vedmedik's not going to have any idea here. Nice little bit of LG as Griffin goes up the stairs instead, and it was actually kind of lucky for him that Vedmedik was pushing forward to the teleporter so aggressively. If you catch your opponent on those stairs, just like we've seen already today, it can be devastating.
Yeah, nowhere to go. You get knocked up in there. You got one health bubble back there, and that's it. Nowhere to go. Just two exits. So.
Absolutely. So maybe the last couple fights getting a little bit too spicy for Griffin, as he has a brief quiet time on the ledge. Of course, it doesn't last long, as you see. A ton of damage coming his way, but he's able to dish out just as much as he's getting.
Yes, some nice lightning gun work from Vedmedik. Actually really put pressure on
And
Griffin.
again, Griffin just comes into it with like 20 health.
A little surprised he went back out on the ledge. You know, typically that's considered a very dangerous area of the map.
Yeah.
And but you know, he hit the rail. You can see he's kind of has this confidence, like I'm going to hit the shots I need to, and he did hit the shot, but his opponent had the stack to deal with it, and that's why his opponent was there. You know, that's one of the things you do in Quake. You know, you make him hit those 2 rails in a row, I'd put a lightning gun in your face. It's not easy to do.
Well, easy or not, we are into potential match point here for Vedmedik, as he's looking for one more round to secure his placement into QuakeCon, forcing Griffin down to the lower bracket. And again, this is the last upper bracket game we're doing today, so a lot of pressure on these guys. Wow. All right, Griffin making good use of the Dire Orb once again here, forcing Vedmedik back into Galena land. But as we've seen already, that can be highly effective, but he wants this frag to be very quick, wants to deny the healing from that totem, and with 12 HP left over, makes good use of that fight.
Yeah, he's certain, but hey, he got the frag, but I would imagine that Vedmedik's going to look to get really aggressive here, try to even the score a little bit.
Oh, really good rockets out of Griffin, and Vedmedik just had to not have any knowledge that Griffin was down there.
I think he did. He just kind of got the exact position of where he was down there kind of threw him off.
Yeah.
I mean, he knew he was in the area, and then he caught a rock at the back, and yeah, not good. Good rockets from Griffin, though. I mean, those are some clutch shots he had to hit there, because he was low. The encounter in the Mega Health hallway, and even there, if, you know, something goes wrong for him, and Vedmedik gets a frag, you know, it's a whole new game. It's so fast. There's plenty of time left, so.
Absolutely. But Vedmedik already making good use of that railgun he's picked up in this round, getting the 1 rail off on Griffin, forcing him to the Mega. Griffin is able to do a little bit of damage with rockets and still looking for the spam on that corner. That's a really tough jump pad to capitalize damage off of, but the fact that you can even get like 30 or 40 damage off of it makes it totally worthwhile.
Yeah, anytime. And it's free damage, right?
Yeah.
A nice prediction rocket. You know, you always wish you could get more, but oh my goodness.
Speaking of free, Griffin just doing a ton of damage here, looking for the rail. He's going to get it. Vedmedik better start getting out of here if he wants to keep any of the stack left over. But really good prediction rocket out of the corner. Man, Griffin has immediately got to change his mind, but that Dire Orb doesn't give him any choices there as Vedmedik takes that first frag against Ranger.
Yeah, just amazing. That encounter just turned on a dime right there. It was pretty even, and you know, Vedmedik backed out. Like you said, he didn't want to take too much damage down there by Mega. And Griffin kind of ate that rocket coming around the corner, set everything up for Vedmedik. And again, you got to give Vedmedik the credit for, you know, using that Dire Orb, changing position, and forcing the frag.
Hearing that rocket bonk is like hearing the word go, and that's exactly what Vedmedik did. And he even forced Griffin back onto the jump pad. You ready for some more damage? Here comes take 2. And it's going to be the last take potentially here for Griffin, as he's got this Nyx ready to go. It's still a long time before items come back up. He's going to need to kind of tread water here for a little bit, taking away maybe some of the smaller armors. He does know that Vedmedik took a lot of damage in that last fight, but Vedmedik's going to be looking to heal here very soon.
Yeah, he lined him, really put the hurt on him with the nail gun. It kind of put the fight in question for a second there, but you know, Vedmedik got the kill. He had a good stack.
Yeah, no Ghost Walk. I thought he had just used it. So that is going to be GG called out there, as we get to now see Griffin, oh, not quite knocked out of the running, but knocked down to the lower bracket.